So we are discussing from 7th canto, okay, chapter 11, and chapter 11 is the description is about the different type of varnas. Conversation between Maharaj Yudhishthira and Narada is going on, text 25. Okay, so we have discussed till 24 yesterday. So from text number 13 to text number 24 is the description by Narad Muni about duties of different varnas. Okay, so now we are going for text number 25. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, you can open 25 there, and text number 25. So now in 13 to 24, the duties of different varnas are over. Okay. Now from 25 to 29, there's been 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 5 shlokas. 5 verses will talk about the Istri Dharma. That means the duty of women. Okay. So this is that particular section where Narad will explain about the dharma of a women. Istri Dharma means the duties of women. Okay. So you can read with me. स्त्रीणां च पतिदेवानां तच्छुश्रूषानुकूलता तद्बन्धुष्वनुवृत्तिश्च नित्यं तद्वृद्धारणम्. Okay. So word to word meaning, Strinam of women cha also Patidevanam, who have accepted their husbands as worshipable. Tad Shushrusha, readiness to render service to her husband. Anukulata, being favorably disposed towards her husband. Tad Bandhusu, unto the friends and relatives of the husband. Anuvritti, being similarly disposed to treat them well for the satisfaction of the husband. Cha and Nityam ready. Tat Prata Dharanam, accepting the vows of the husband or acting exactly as the husband acts. Okay. So, yeah. Word to word meaning and translation and purport by Shilprabha. Okay, so translation: to render service to the husband, to be always favorably disposed toward the husband, to be equally well disposed toward the husband's relative and friends, and to follow the vows of the husband. These are the 4 principles to be followed by women described as chaste. Okay, chaste women. So these are the what is those things? First is to render service to the husband. Second, to be always favorably disposed toward the husband. Third, to equally well disposed toward the husband's relative and friend. And the fourth, to follow the vows of the husband. These are the 4 principles which a woman should follow. And if she follows this, she is called chaste woman. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is very important for peaceful householder life that a woman follow the vow of her husband. Okay. Any disagreement with the husband will disrupt family life. In this regard, Chanakya Pandit gives a very valuable instruction. Dampatyo kalahu nasti tatra Sri swayam agataha. When there are no fights between husband and wife, the goddess of fortune ultimately comes to the home. Okay, so these sections, especially regarding Varnashrama or regarding the Stri Dharma, or future there are some discussions will come. In this section, you may get some questions. So you can ask me in between. As soon as you get question, you can just put me in the chat in WhatsApp. So I will, meanwhile, whenever there is appropriate time, I will answer that. Okay. Otherwise, I will answer that separately. So like that, because you may get some questions, because these things are explained in the Shastras, and Prabhupada is giving the more practical way of practicing these principles in today's world. And still, if somebody has more further need of how are you able to hear? Ah. So you can practice this thing. How you can practice this thing in practical now, in your particular situation? If you want to know, then you can check with me. I mean, you can discuss with any devotee personally. If you want to discuss, you can ask me. Okay, you can send me questions. Okay, so these are the duties of chaste woman. Any pativrata stri, a chaste wife, है ना? So Chanakya says that dampatya kalho nasti tatra Shri Swayam agata. When there are no fights between husband and wife, the god, sorry, the goddess of fortune automatically comes to the home. Lakshmi ji, goddess of fortune means Lakshmi. Goddess of fortune means Bhagya Lakshmi. You can say. A lot of people say Bhagya Lakshmi. So Bhagya Lakshmi automatically comes to home if husband and wife is living peacefully, they are not fighting. A woman's education should be conducted along the lines indicated in this verse. The basic principle for a chaste woman is to be always favorably disposed toward her husband. In Bhagavad Gita 140, it is said, Strishu Dashtasu Varshneya Jayate Varna Sankara. If the women are polluted, there will be Varna Sankara population. In modern terms, the Varna Sankara are the hippies who do not follow any regulatory injunction. Another explanation is that when the population is Varna Sankara, no one can know who is on what platform. The Varnashram system scientifically divides society four Varnas and four Ashramas. But in Varna Sankara society, there are also no such distinctions, and no one can know who is who. Okay, that means nobody knows whether you are Brahman, Kshatriya, who are you. Right? So in such a society, no one can distinguish between a Brahman, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, and a Sudra. For peace and happiness in the material world, the Varnashrama institution must be introduced. The symptom of one's activities must be defined. The one must be educated accordingly. Then spiritual advancement will automatically be possible. Okay. So this shloka speaks about four qualities which a woman should practice. These four shlokas will talk like that. First shloka saying a wife should be serving husband. Second, favorably disposed toward the husband. Third, equally well disposed toward the husband's relative and friend. And fourth, to follow the vows of the husband. Okay, generally in the if these kind of things are also told during the marriage also. Okay, like so, uh, like. Like many people nowadays are they don't understand this thing, and they respect the husband, but they don't respect the husband, mother, father, and or relative or friend. So actually everyone, they should wife should serve and make them happy. Okay, this is the principle. Okay, now 26 and 27. सम्मार्जनोपलेपाभ्यां गृहमण्डनवर्तनैः स्वयं च मण्डिता नित्यं परिमृष्टपरिच्छदा कामैरुच्चावचैः साध्वी प्रश्येन दमेन च वाक्यैः सत्यैः प्रियैः प्रेम्णा काले काले वदेत् पतिम्. Okay, You can send the questions here because chat is little I can't access very easily. So you can send in the WhatsApp. Sammarjana by cleaning, Uplepabhyam by smearing with water or other cleansing liquids. Griha, the household mandan decorating. Vartanai remaining at home and engaged in such duties. Swayam personally cha also mandita, finally dressed nityam, always parimrishta, cleans parichada, garments and household utensils. Kamai, according to the desires of the husband. Ucha avachai, with great and small. Sadvi, a chaste woman. Parashrayena, with modesty. Damena, by controlling the senses. Cha, also vakyai, by speech. Satyai, truthful. Priyai, very pleasing. Premna, with love. Kale, kale, at appropriate times. Bhajet, should worship. Patin, haras. Okay, so a chaste woman. So there is a question now. What if the husband is not good? Then how will a wife be able to survive? So generally, it was the case that they will marry to. First of all, actually, this is not an ideal standard that to marry such a guy who is not good. Okay, so they used to marry earlier days with either in the swambar or with the directions of parents and like that. So everybody was having an idea that our life's goal is spiritual advancement. So whenever they will marry their daughter, they will marry to a devotee only, a spiritual guy. So if a person is devotee, then or a wife, the wife also can practice all these qualities properly. If person is not a devotee of Krishna, then he will have some other kind of activity and nonsense he will do. Then he will torture the wife and a lot of crazy thing will happen. Okay, that is Kali Yuga is famous for those things only, and that is why in Kali Yuga there is a new system called divorce, which was not existing earlier, and there are a lot of problem in Kali Yuga. So many people are cheating also, and many time we don't know in Kali Yuga who is after marriage only real face comes out. So, but as at least we have to practice in our limit whatever we can do. Suppose if somebody's husband is really too much opposed and all, then whatever basic duties a wife supposed to do, that she can do, and rest she can practice her spirituality separate. For example, there are some basic things which must be done, like cooking, like whatever is there. As per now, I can't say anything generally. This person to person it may differ, but thing is, whatever a husband is expecting, if it is not disturbing your spiritual life, then you can do those services to the husband. If in the case where a husband is really horrible. So, for example, if husband is requesting that you should not chant Hare Krishna, then that there is some problem, and you can still chant. You cannot listen those kind of things. But if there is some kind of thing like husband want to eat some particular type of food, and he's expecting that he should cook, then wife can cook. Wives don't want, she should not eat, but she can cook because she has to adjust. Somehow, if they want to go in the marriage properly, they have to adjust, right? So it is not nothing with the devotional thing, but even non-devotees family, husband wife may have different overviews. So if they are mature enough, they will find a proper way to deal. For example, in a team also, they may get something that kind of conflict. So same way as a team member, they both should work and try to find out. And in some cases where really a person is not able to understand any way, not able to cooperate anything, then I don't know what to do. Maybe that kind of problem can be discussed one to one discussion. I can't say anything in general. Okay, so as it has to be understood what is the real situation, and accordingly suggestions can be given. Okay. Anyway, translation here. Hope this satisfies your question, and still something more means exact situation has to be told, and then it has to be. But the point is that with a great maturity, wife and husband should sit together, because in forget about this thing, but there are different overviews, so they will sit together, they will sort it out. This I like, this I don't like, this thing we have to do together, and that's properly we can sit and talk, and both should act properly and respect each other's individuality, each other's choices, and then they should do. Okay. Otherwise, many people are going for divorce. What? Anyway, translation 26 and 27 verse. A chaste woman must dress nicely and decorate herself with golden ornaments for the pleasure of her husband. So here, whatever is coming, it is understood that husband is good person. Okay, so think in that way. Husband is a good person, and he is devotee, and if not devotee, at least he is a noble person, pious person, an ideal vyakti. Okay, so a chaste woman must dress nicely and decorate herself with golden ornaments for the pleasure of her husband. Okay, so generally, wife should do everything for the pleasure of husband. And a decoration and makeup or whatever ornaments, dressing, everything should be only for the pleasure of her husband, no other. Means husband's desire should be like that. Means, uh, it should be like that. It's not like many other people also saying that you should dress up like this, so she dress up like that also. That is not considered as very chaste. Nowadays, people may say that it is my choice. Your choice is fine, but many people's choice may not be very fine for it, as a chastity of women is concerned. Because if chastity is maintained very nicely for by a woman, she becomes extremely powerful. She can even burn anybody into ashes. If she says, that will happen, because the power of chastity is like that. You know the Savitri, she brought her husband back from the Yamraj. Yamraj has to give it back, give her husband back. That was the power of a chaste woman. Always wearing clean and attractive garments, she should sweep and clean the household with water and other liquids, so that the entire house is always pure and clean. She should collect the household paraphernalia and keep the house always aromatic with incense and flowers, and must be ready to execute the desires of her husband. Being modest and truthful, controlling her senses, and speaking in sweet words, a chaste woman should engage in the service of her husband with love, according to time and circumstances. Okay, according to time and circumstances, this thing should be done. संतुष्टालोलुपा दक्षा धर्मज्ञा प्रिय सत्यवाक् अप्रमत्ता शुचि स्निग्धा पतिं स्वपतिं भजेत्. Santushta, always satisfied. Alupa, without being greedy. Daksha, very expert in serving. Dharmagya, fully conversant with religious principles. Priya, pleasing. Satya, truthful. Vak, speaking. Apramatta, attentive to service to her husband. Suchi, always clean and pure. Snigdha, affectionate. Patim, the husband too, but apatitam, who is not fallen. Bhajet, should worship. Okay, here you may get some more answer for your question. A chaste woman should not be greedy. Okay, I want this, so many things. So she should not be greedy, but satisfied in all circumstances. And whatever is the circumstances in family, she should be satisfied. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and should be fully conversant with religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully and should be very careful and always clean and pure. Okay, thus a chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of a husband who is not fallen. Okay, this is said here. Chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of a husband who is not fallen. Okay, who is not fallen. That okay. Now it should be clear. According to the injunction of Yagyavalkya and authority on religious principle, Ashuddhe Sampratiksho hi Mahapatak Dushitaha. Dushitaha. One is considered contaminated, dushit, है ना? Contaminated by the reactions of great sinful activities when one has not been purified according to the methods of Dashavidha Samskar. In Bhagavad Gita, however, the Lord says, Na mam no muda prapatyante naradhama. Those miscreants who do not surrender to me are the lowest of mankind. The word naradhama means non-devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Yei bhaje sei bada abhakta hina chara. Yei bhaje sei bada abhakta hina chara. Anyone who is a devotee is sinless. One who is not a devotee, however, is the most fallen and condemned. Okay, so here translation says wife should serve nicely husband who is not fallen, and who is fallen. It is one who is not a devotee, he is most fallen. So devotee, if he is not devotee of Krishna, he is most fallen and condemned. So it is recommended, therefore, that a chaste wife not associate with a fallen husband. Okay, I think here Prabhupada is giving to the point answer. So, okay, it is clear. What is that? A chaste wife not it is recommended, therefore, that a chaste wife not associate with a fallen husband. A fallen husband is one who is addicted to the four principles of sinful activity. So Prabhupada is giving definition also. Who is a fallen husband? Okay. Namely, so if a person is engaged in this four sinful activity, he is considered as a fallen husband. What is that? Illicit sex, engaged with the illicit sexual activities like other women affair or like that, or engaging too much in the sexual activities for sense gratification like that, unnecessary. So that is called illicit sex. And meat eating, eating meat, fishes, egg, whatever it is. And gambling, engage in this kind of gambling activities like modern days, casinos are there, betting is there, match fixing is there, lot of, and intoxication. This what is called all type of intoxication, cigarette, tobacco, pan, and liquor, and many other kind of drugs, including tea and coffee. That's also uh, that also is the intoxication. So if I am, so nowadays many women also doing intoxication and they are complaining that her husband is like that, but wife is also drinking nowadays liquor. Okay, anyway, uh, generally the sinful activities are not, earlier days women's are some women's were very religious. They will not do, even sometimes men will do nonsense, but women will never do. They will be very pious, they will do always religious activity, puja and all those. So any sinful activities first it will be introduced in the men. It is like generally it is seen like that, and then slowly women's will take up anything. So specifically, if one is not a soul surrendered to the, because for doing sinful activity, the heart should be more hard-hearted person should be there, and contamination more. Women are generally simple-hearted and innocent, pure like that. So like that. Okay, I mean just generally I'm saying. Specifically, if one is not a soul surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is understood to be contaminated. So, if you, first Prabhupada said, fallen husband means who is not a devotee. And then second thing, who is doing this four type of sinful activity. Then he is saying, if he is not surrendered to Krishna, then he is considered as contaminated. So thus, in this way, a chaste woman is advised not to agree to serve such a husband. Okay. A chaste woman is advised not to agree to serve such husband. But then again, one should be very clear that whether how much one is chaste. I mean, it should not be out of ego that I am not going to serve my husband, because out of ego. It should be out of devotion. Because sometime, I will, anyway, we will go with the purport and then I will explain. It is not that a chaste woman should be like a slave while the husband is Naradhama. Okay, see, women are not slave. Prabhupada is saying very clearly, that poor woman is very chaste and husband is Naradhama. Naradhama means lowest of men, doing all sorts of nonsense. And wife is nice, simple girl, and husband is considering her as a slave. This is not good. This is not right condition. So, although the duties of a woman are different from those of a man, a chaste woman is not meant to serve a fallen husband. Okay. If her husband is fallen, it is recommended that she give up his association. Give up his association. Giving up the association of her husband does not mean, however, that a woman should marry again and thus indulge in prostitution. That also is Prabhupada is saying that giving the association of husband does not mean that women go and marry another person and indulge in prostitution. If because that means that is not chastity, na. So if a chaste woman unfortunately marries a husband who is fallen, she should live separately from him. Okay. Similarly, a husband can separate himself from a woman who is not chaste according to the description of the Shastra. Similar goes with the husband also. If wife is not very chaste, husband can live separate. The conclusion is that a husband should be a pure Vaishnava and that a woman should be a chaste wife with all the symptoms described in this regard. This is the solution. Husband should be a devotee of Krishna and wife should be chaste wife. Life will go very happily, very peacefully. Okay, then both of them will be happy and make spiritual progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, ya patim hari bhavena bhajet sri rivtatpara haryatmana hare loke patya sri rivmodate. Yeah, any woman who patim, her husband Hari bhaven, mentally accepting him as equal to Hari, the supreme personality of God, and bhajet, worships or renders service to Sri Iva, exactly like the goddess of fortune. Tatpara, being devoted. Hari Atmana, completely absorbed in thoughts of Hari. Hare Loke, in the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planet. Patya, with her husband. Sri Iva, exactly like the goddess of fortune. Know that they enjoy spiritual eternal life. The woman, this is the last shloka in this section. The woman who engages in the service of her husband, following strictly the footsteps of the goddess of fortune, like how the Lakshmiji serves Krishna. Similarly, a wife should serve her husband. Surely returns home back to Godhead with her devotee husband. So, what will happen? Husband is also devotee. So, devotee will go to Goloka, Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha, and wife also will go with husband. Okay, and lives very happily in the Vaikuntha planets. Okay, in this way, they will live nicely in the Vaikuntha planets. Okay, so that is why in the fifth canto, fifth chapter, Rishabdev said that if a husband does not has ability to take back her wife with him to Goloka or Vaikuntha, that means if a husband is not able to cut the birth and death cycle of wife, then that person has no right to become husband. Okay, a person cannot become husband if he is not sure whether he will be able to take care of wife's spiritual duties, you know. So in this way it is required. So the faithfulness of the goddess of fortune is the ideal for a chaste woman. Okay, so for a chaste woman, who is the ideal whom they can follow? Lakshmi ji. The Brahma Samhita says, Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasambram Sevyamanam. In the Vaikuntha planet, Lord Vishnu is worshipped by many, many thousands of goddess of fortune. And in Golok Vrindavan, Lord Krishna is worshipped by many, many thousands of gopis, all of whom are goddess of fortune. A woman, so many, many, Lakshmi ji will take many, many form and serving Lord Vishnu in all the possible ways. A woman should serve her husband as faithfully as the goddess of fortune. So, following the footsteps on Lakshmi ji, women should learn from Lakshmi ji how she is serving Krishna. Similarly, a woman should serve her husband. Then both husband and wife will be so faithful and